Welcome to Two Hypnotherapists Talking. We are two established hypnotherapists based on either side of the pond. I'm Martin in Preston, UK.
And I'm Denise in Delaware, USA. Whether you're curious, an avid fan, or a fellow practitioner, I'm sure you'll find something of interest in our weekly conversations with each other and our various guests.
While we both practice hypnosis, we are interested in other aspects of self-help and personal development. So please sing out if you have something to say or want clarification. Our contact details are in the show notes.
So, Martin, let's get on with this week's episode.
Okay, yeah, let's get on with the show indeed, Denise. And I am delighted to welcome back, and I know you are too, Helen Breward. Helen, how are you?
Hi, I'm
Helen.
doing really well, thank you.
She's one of the few people who actually I could find on a map if I went to Britain, because she's only up the road from Salisbury.
That's right. Yeah. Do you know what? Talking about Salisbury, I know this is nothing to do with hypnosis, but there's a great cinema there in Salisbury called the Everyman Cinema. I tell you what, Martin, you're in the UK, so if you have one near you, you must go. It's heaven. It's all the seats are couches, so you've got two-seater couches or settees with cushions, or one-seater chairs, and they're lovely and soft. And somebody comes and takes your food order, somebody takes your drink, they bring it all to you. Oh, it's just heaven. You've got plenty of foot room. I had a little kip, to be honest. I had a little kip.
How much do they charge for a ticket these days? It can't be what it used to be.
£18 each, which is not really that much. Yeah, it's not that much more than what it is normally, to be fair.
Gracious.
So yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a lovely treat. If you ever get to treat yourself, just go and do that. Fantastic.
Is it a micro chain? I've not heard of them up here.
I think it might be. There's a couple around here in the big cities like Bristol and Bath. But yeah, it's a.
She says round here, but she means 70 miles from her. Yeah.
No, Bath's not that far.
In American terms, no, that's down the street. For you guys, it is.
I was forgetting, you have big long roads, don't you?
Very long roads, yes. To go from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, either end of the state of Pennsylvania, I think it's supposed to be about a 6-hour drive, about 400 miles. Right. It's like John O'Groats to Land's End. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah, that would take days here.
So Helen, before we came on air, you dropped one on us. You told us you've got a significant milestone coming up.
I do. It's the 10th anniversary of the Menopause Relief Program. So come January, or when about this goes out, I will have been working with menopause for 10 years. It's huge, and the program itself will be 10 years old. You know, training for 9 years, working with ladies and clients for 10. It's huge. You know, you suddenly look back and go, where did that go?
So how's that program evolved over the 10 years?
Oh gosh, well, it started off as, well, maybe it should be 2 sessions. Then it evolved into 4, and then in the end it turned out to be 6 sessions, which was much more sensible, to be fair. Then it evolved into adding in, this is always a controversial thing, by the way, adding in the andropause, the male menopause equivalent. That's always a contentious thing for men. Women understand it.
Is it real? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for some men it is, but not all men go through it though. That's the point.
Well,
I think
almost none of them will admit to it. What percentage of your clients do you think are that, or is it just a few people?
That's a good question. The menopause.
And is it men who saw their wives have relief? They realise that they.
No, you see, what happens is I don't tend to talk to men about it. I just clock what they're telling me.
Oh, I see.
Then
okay.
That's what I call sneaky. I slip it in there because, you know, I don't want those. Oh, well, Helen, you're talking a load of rubbish. I was going to say another word there. You're talking a load of rubbish because, you know, sometimes their symptoms, if they have symptoms, generally speaking, aren't usually as severe as women's, because their hormone decline is very gradual from about the age of 30. So the body gets chance to adjust. And, whereas with women, it's more.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Denise, the other one with the medical background, but doesn't male testosterone's level drop by about 1% a year after a certain age?
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but it sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's after about 30, they reckon it's about 1% a year, which is why you still get men in their 80s
fathering children.
Fathering children.
Yeah. It helps with their opera singers, yeah.
No, I got about andropause, but I say men have that midlife crisis thing though. You know, with all the men I know, usually it's an affair, a sports car, or a Harley Davidson.
Yeah. And it used to be years ago, it used to be the excuse for all of those three, didn't it? Always having a midlife crisis. No, love, come on, this is not on.
Exactly. Should we ever wish to?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big thing. The training's evolved as well. We have the main program for hypnotherapists to use, like yourself. That's going to evolve to be used for other types of therapist as well. That's coming very soon. And we've also evolved into the advanced course where we dig deeper, but on other issues as well. So we spread it, deepen and broaden the knowledge base. We've since last year of the year, I can't remember which year now, either last year or the year before. I think it was last year actually. The years just go, don't they?
Yep. We're at a certain age, dear, things go faster and faster.
Granddaughter, she's 12, right? She said to me the other day, Grandma, this year has gone so quick,
I've said it a few times. I used to laugh when I was younger and people say, oh, the years go quicker as you get older, but they do. They absolutely do. I mean, you just said your granddaughter's 12. Think back to when you were 12, Helen, or 11, and you've gone from
remember how long
primary school
lasted?
Yeah, but you've gone from primary school to secondary school. That first term from September to Christmas, that seemed to last a lifetime for everybody I know.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, Martin. We ain't going to discuss how many years, but it was a very long time ago. My secondary school is no longer there anymore. It's demolished and it's now a housing estate.
Mine's still going strong. So, what are you doing apart from menopause? Have you added any other strings to your bow? Is there any other particular kind of problem that people bring to you?
Oh, with clients. Yeah, it's a wide variety of stuff at the moment, and a lot of it is to do with them. Obviously, it's always about them, isn't it? And on a kind of a confidence level, but wanting to know the deeper answers to things and explore deeper questions and things. It's really interesting what is going on at the moment. And I find, maybe I'm just attracting that kind of person at the moment, but I seem to be attracting more open-minded people, more sort of spiritually aware, let's say. I think that's probably about the phrase to call it. I don't know.
Do you are most of these people your age range, or are they across the whole spectrum? What's the youngest person you've seen?
Oh God, the youngest one was about 5, but I don't think that's quite what you mean.
Not the most usual person, yes.
No. Normally, I think the age range that I see now, generally speaking, has actually lowered. I'm seeing generally it used to be sort of 45 to sort of 60 age range. Now it's sort of dropped by about a decade to about 35, sort of 60-ish. It's growing wider, which is a good thing because we're catching people younger, teaching them the tools for, that's just coping with life much sooner. So hopefully they can actually then continue their life using what we've taught them.
Without saddled with all the other things.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully, because then they know how to deal with all the other things much easier.
Do you have plans for the next 10 years?
Oh
dear, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to.
Oh gosh, I do have several things in the line and sort of I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, I am developing different strands. I've always had a couple of different strands to what I do anyway, with working with clients, working with therapists, and my book. Now I've got another product that I'm sort of not quite launched yet, but it's almost in the process of being launched. I'll have it launched within the next few weeks before Christmas.
Before this comes out, possibly.
Yeah, well, we should be out by the time this comes out. And it's a nice menopause gift box. So it's got things in it that's really nice and soothing for people going through the menopause. And it's got little kind of,
So
yeah,
a gift
nice.
for yourself kind of purchase, not here, mum,
Yeah.
you can see you're
For a
having a bad
friend.
day. May not go. Yeah.
Yeah. And that came out from a conversation I was having with my business coach. And I always, if we go away, sometimes this sounds terrible, we go away together. I don't mean it like that. We go on conferences, marketing
Mhm.
conferences, and things like that together. And because she quite often drives, I find her a little gift because I know
Mhm.
been working. I nearly said we've been together. We've been working together for a very long time, so I know her really well. So I buy her a little gift, and I bought her this little tin one day, and it was I've got one to hand actually. Inside it had 4 tea bags. So I fiddled around with it and I bought her a little bit of chocolate. Now, here in the UK, oh, you all know about this anyway, Denise, because you're from
Yeah.
the UK. Do you remember the Freddo bars?
The witch bars?
The Freddo bars, it's the little frog,
You know, the
chocolate
frog
frog.
chocolate
Yeah.
bars, yeah.
Yeah. So I bought one of those and I stuck it in the tin and gave it to her. She went, "Oh my God, this is really cool. I'm murdering somebody." I went, "Oh, good." So it's kind of sort of morphing from that into
Yeah.
something much bigger. I'm just
Is
trying
it
to,
a menopause self-care box?
well, I call it the time out tin, but yeah,
The
you're
time-out tin,
absolutely
yeah.
Time out tin works too. Yeah.
self-care thing. A soothing, something to soothe the soul, give you time away from the menopause for a bit, because we all
Right.
need that with life in general, don't we?
Or even if you're
Um,
still 30 and menopause is a ways off yet, you may have those kind of times.
you say that, but I've dealt with quite a few
Premenstrual?
people.
Hmm.
Mm. And what I find I do quite a lot of, which I really wish I didn't have to, and there wasn't a need for it, is young women in their sort of 30s that have had breast cancer in particular that
Mhm.
are now find themselves menopausal. I really wish it wasn't that way, and I really wish that there was no need for somebody like me to help them through that. But I'm seeing far more of it than I would like to from
Do you, is your marketing completely organic or are you teamed up with the local oncology unit or anything?
I work with a local charity, local breast cancer charity, and I do quite a bit of work for them,
Hmm.
their ladies, which is why I know it's getting younger and younger, it seems
Right.
to be. And it doesn't seem fair at all.
Yeah. I remember being really shocked. I went back to my medical school to do some paperwork a couple of years after I graduated, and one of the girls working in the back had been a student with me. And I'd say, "Oh, how are things going?" And she said, "I've had a double mastectomy. They found cancer when I was 25, right as she graduated."
Oh, no. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's so
Changed her
tough, isn't
life
it?
trajectory considerably.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the hard thing is there's nothing you can say.
No.
But the ladies that I work with, they all have their awful stories. And I find it very humbling.
Hmm.
I find it very grounding because it reminds me of how lucky I am and how blessed I am. And I think, well, you know what, I am very thankful that I have the skills that I can use to give you a
Right.
moment's peace and a bit of time away from everything that you've been going on and are still dealing with. And some of the ladies have become friends. Some of them I still see now, years later after they finished and they've returned to work and life's returning to a normal.
Hmm.
And that's, I think, at the end of the day, when we all think about it, it's things like that that we know we can truly make a difference is why we do what we do at the
Yeah.
very core of everything, isn't it? At the end of the day.
So, as I said at the beginning of that, what are you going to be concentrating on in this coming 10 years? Are you just going to like refine what you have? Or is there another aspect of hypnosis that you think is waiting to be discovered by you?
Never rule that out. I'm always creative, always working on new types of courses, new types of things, because things are always changing. People are changing. The way the world is at the moment is changing completely. At the moment, one of the biggest things that I'm working on is a coaching course. I want to call it, no, I didn't call it coaching, mentoring, kind of a course. I'm going to call it a mixture of everything. And
Who will you be mentoring, coaching?
Therapist.
Okay.
At the moment, it's just hypnotherapists, but I'm not restricting it to hypnotherapists. So it'll be for any kind of therapist.
Do you have many psychotherapists who also do hypnosis? We have a few here, not many.
I do have quite a few. There's also quite a few counsellors that are hypnotherapists too. And, you know, it's because we need more and more people like this, but a lot of people fall by the wayside because they don't have the support. They don't know that they can do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And that'll, do you know what I mean? So for me, this is about helping them to push them up so they can help more people.
Yeah.
You know, there is only one of me. My husband would say, thank God for that.
Are you doing business coaching with them or more mindset stuff?
It's a combination of everything. So we'll be looking at mindset.
Tall order?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a tall order, you know. Why do things half measure, Denise?
So,
If I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for it big style. And it's because it was about a good month ago. I had that, you know, sometimes you wake up and you don't feel quite right anyway when you wake up. And I felt that morning, I felt really alone. And I knew logically that it wasn't true. And I did feel really alone. And I suddenly thought, well, do you know what? If I'm feeling like this, then there are going
millions of them.
Same. You know, because I'm not that unique. And I thought, well, do you know what people need, what therapists need, it is a very lonely business. And what people need is somebody to say, it's all right, I'm in your corner. I'm standing by your side. I've got you. You're not on your own. And I did have a little bit of a rant, I have to be honest. It's not something I've done. So, you know, it pushed me to have a little bit of a rant in the group the Facebook group that I have. And I kind of decided it was, and do you know what? I think it was a turning point because I suddenly realized, you know, we all talk about know your worth and we go, yeah, I know my worth. And I suddenly really clicked that actually, do you know what? You do know your worth. And it was a bit like, oh my God moment.
So I need to make sure other people know it as well.
Yes. And I'm creating this course that's called Enough is Enough. And it wasn't me that actually called it that. It was somebody that contacted me and she said, can I have a chat with you?
It's a great title.
Yeah, and she said, I want to talk about this Enough course. I went, oh, okay, fair enough. That would be the name then. So that's what we're calling it. And it's a combination of one-to-one coaching, mentoring. What's wrong? Let me have it. You know, talk to me. Chat. If that's what you need, get it off your chest.
Is
and
that
then with
a one-to-one or a group program?
Both. We have a group aspect where we do, and it's going to be the more technical marketing things because then we can do everybody in one go. But the more personal stuff, what you need, because people need to, if your business is going to grow, you have to grow personally too. Otherwise you won't grow. So it's about that too. And we're stripping back. We are not talking, excuse the French, if you want to cut this bit out, feel free. We're not talking bullshit. We're looking behind the bullshit. So, you know, for me, it's always been about the truth for me anyway. But this is about people being aware of, let's call it the smoke and mirrors that goes on.
I think that with a lot of people, they sort of buy the hype. They're going to come out and they're going to be fully fledged whatever therapy, and all of a sudden the doors will all open, and they don't spend enough time explaining all the little things that you do before that happens, and the amount of time that it takes for that to happen.
Yes. Well, we'll be going through.
You should throw back to Martin. Now, look, he's completely overworked now because he has his extra job. No, his hypnosis is taken off. It doesn't hurt that he writes for 5 newspapers either. It's
No.
definitely a plus.
You're a bit like me then, aren't you, Martin? Why do one when you could do 5?
Yeah. Well, it just grew. It just
Yeah.
grew. I was asked to write for another one and another one and another one.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are. But Helen, something just skipped by. I just picked up on something you said before. You mentioned a book. Tell me more.
Yes.
You have a book.
You've seen my book, haven't you? It's not a new one, it's an old one. Old one, 2018.
Well, that's okay. We can mention it again.
We will definitely.
It's still in print.
Still for sale.
It's still in print.
Yeah, it's still in print.
Is
it's
it
called
Amazon or is it Amazon or a local printer?
So yeah, I've had it on Amazon. God, since 2018. Geez, that's quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is print on demand, so I don't have to do anything, which best option, because people would be very late in getting some books some days, and I'd be tearing my hair out and whatever.
Trudging to the post office to load them.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That would be my head.
Do you think another book is in the works? Are you thinking of for the therapists, maybe?
I think there may be another book somewhere. It's just not making itself present at the moment, I have to say.
I'm just gonna say this because that way I will have to shame myself into actually writing. I'm writing a book also.
Oh well.
No, not well done yet, but it's at least I've got like half an intro. But I do have a writing coach, and I have a set of things I have milestones to hit. Mine is written to doctors because I think that yes, there are quite a few doctors who know about hypnosis, but there's a lot more that don't.
Yes.
And those are the people who get. This is what you do if your patient says they are interested in hypnosis. You can say, "Oh, I know about that, and I know somebody." You can just send them on.
I tell you how I had when I started writing, it was back in, when did I go to Canada? 2016. So I started writing it in 16.
It took you a couple of years because it came out in 18, you said?
Yeah, it took a couple of years because I had a massive writer's block. Right, sort of. I got it so far. I got it sort of a good half to 3/4 of the way through, and then I kind of stopped. And somebody said to me once, actually, it was the business coach I had at the time, said, what's stopping you from finishing this book, Helen? It needs to get finished. And I said, oh, well, I'm too busy, usual excuses. And
she's too busy ignoring it.
Yes, absolutely. So I found a different title. The original title was My Magical Menopause or something along them lines, I think it was. Okay. And I thought, title wasn't right. And eventually I came up with a new title, which was this one, which is My Menopause, My Way. But the key thing to what I did was, in fact, I did 2 key things. I blocked out days in my diary. This is the extreme that I went to, right? Because I work from home.
I have an appointment with myself, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I work from home. And to be fair, this situation is different now because I've trained the family. But because everybody knew I work from home, they used to pop in. Oh, hi, Helen, just thought we'd for a cuppa. But just want to say hello. And I was constantly getting disturbed. So I used to, right, it's Monday. Okay, I'm blocking out Monday. So I used to get in my car first thing Monday morning before everybody else was up. I used to drive around the corner, park it round the back in a street round behind.
Oh, so they would drive, oh, she's out.
Yes, exactly. Because, oh no, she's not in. So I used to have the whole day, and I had to do that several times. And that's how I got it finished. The other key thing that I did was I'd booked a holiday with my husband, a break. And my thing was I had to get the book finished and to the publisher before we went on that holiday. I was like, I'm not going. I can't go because it's got to be done. Because I was taking it to a conference and had already published the fact that I was taking this book to the conference.
Yes.
That's how I got it done.
Yes. Congratulations.
Got to give yourself some carrots and sticks there along the way, Denise, to get it done.
You have to give a few to Martin because before all of this started, he was also writing and he stopped fairly close to the end.
Yeah, just 2 chapters to go and a complete mental block. I've not looked at it since. Just got 2 chapters left to do.
You have got to breathe and just go for it because it needs to be finished.
It does, yeah. Well, my workload is going to change after March next year. So that's when I can give a lot more time to other things.
Quite a few clients from the clinic. That was for Martin, but I didn't know you had a clinic. Because Martin also has a psychiatrist who will refer people to him, so he works.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm busy there on Wednesdays. That's where I usually am on Wednesdays. Yeah, so they come in, plus my other clients that come in through Zoom via the other referral. So all my business is referrals. All my clients are referrals.
Good place to be, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It also makes me complacent. I've not updated my website for 2 years.
Yeah. Both of us need to do that. We certainly need to, hopefully by the time people are hearing this out in the World Wide World, they will see a new page on the website.
It's interesting how quickly and how easy things can get out of date, to be fair.
Okay, Helen, so just listening to what you were talking about then, so you're devising these programs that you're teaching other therapists, so like CPD programs or new method programs, etc. Where can people find out about those?
Other than in the notes below, because she's going to tell us.
Yeah. Well, there's several places. So you can, I'd say, yeah, you can potentially get them off, find about it on my website. The quickest way to find out is if you are on my email list. That's usually the people that I tell first about what's going on. Right. But equally, you can also usually find out about these things in the Facebook group HypnoConnect. I do often talk about it in there as well.
Is that a private group, or is that open to
no,
hypnotists?
Any hypnotherapist can join. Yeah, it's open for everybody.
For anybody who isn't a hypnotherapist but is looking at menopause and wants to talk to Helen, look in the notes below and you'll see how to contact her.
So this HypnoConnect group, is that to do with menopause, or is it just your general group?
It used to be, I've had it for years, and it used to be Positive Hypnosis. So it's a support group for hypnotherapists.
Okay.
Good.
And I teamed up, it must be about 18 months ago. I'm sure it's about 18 months ago, with 2 friends of mine in Australia, Rebecca Privilege. Nearly forgot that.
Fabulous name.
Yeah.
I don't call her Becky or Bex or Rebecca, and Sarah Herring. I teamed up with both of them because we've quite often run courses together. We create them together sometimes. We've run courses together.
Australian time difference is such a pain. You figure a time that works for both.
It's an interesting conundrum. We manage it, but we also do we have a monthly meeting where we have a guest speaker. So if there's anything you two would like to talk about, therapy technique, I think, do let me know, because we're looking for speakers.
Maybe when Martin finishes his book.
Yes. And that's working really well. And it's tomorrow, actually. It's the first Tuesday of the month, so it's tomorrow. So
that's not what I'll be thinking about, but yes.
Oh, we'll mention your HypnoConnect in the show notes as well, then, Helen. Have you got any final words for our viewers and listeners? Oh,
do you know what? I think at the moment, probably the biggest thing that I could say to anybody, because I apply this to myself, is to take time for yourself. And this is one of the big lessons I've learned this year. This year I've been through a lot of illness, and the biggest thing I've learned is to work quicker. That's an interesting prospect, isn't it? So I work quicker. I get more things done in a short space of time, because I make sure that I take time out. I listen to my body and I take time out. When my body says, do you know what, love, we've had enough, then I go, okay, I'm finishing this sentence, I'm done, and I'm out.
What a lovely note to end on.
See a new advertising campaign coming.
Yeah, what a lovely note to end on. Helen, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me.
It was great to see you again. Bye.
It's lovely to see you both again too. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
We hope you've enjoyed listening.
Please remember, this podcast is designed to give you an insight into therapeutic hypnosis and is for educational purposes only. So remember, consult with your own healthcare professional if you think something you've heard may apply to you or a loved one.
Feel free to contact either of us through the links in the show notes. Join us again next week.